Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Star Raptor and I'm so happy you could join me for this week's video of Star Wars comics reviews. Today we are talking about Halycon Legacy issue number 4, the penultimate issue of this 5-issue miniseries. This one's called The Heist on the Halcyon. So we have two different stories as always in this series. We have the framing story, which is set in between the events of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, in which we have the Halcyon, which is what we know as Galactic Starcruiser Hotel in Disney World, which is housing a resistance spy. The First Order has gotten word of that, and they have hired this bounty hunter named Crimson Jack to go ahead and get that special target. So meanwhile, we have the people that are, enjoying the Halcyon, and it's their first voyage in a long time, just like it was in the old days, and now they're being beset upon by this Crimson Jack fellow. So they have lately been trying to outrun the Crimson Jack into a big storm, and now they have to get out of that storm before they get destroyed. So the whole idea is, throughout this adventure, the last 4 issues, we've had this droid that has been telling one of the younglings aboard, not a Jedi, but just a regular little kid in the galaxy far, far away, telling her stories to cheer her up and raise her spirits in the crisis that is about to be had. So we get this nice little flashback story in this issue, which is all about Maz Kanata, Lando Calrissian, and Hondo Ohnaka. Yes, that triple pair, that triple threat right there is pretty cool. So we have this heist that's going on, and this time we are set in between, or right after the events of A New Hope. So we were in that Imperial era, and apparently at this point, the Halcyon actually was owned by the Imperials. They had this general aboard. He was a real stern fellow. And what we see is this really cool 3-pronged approach to how they are able to get the item they want. So this Imperial general has this big vault, and he is hiding all this treasure and relics. So we have Maz Kanata, which, gives him these fake Alderaan gems, and that allows Hondo to get into the vault, in which he is distracting this general while Lando Calrissian is in disguise and ends up getting what they need, only to show that actually Maz Kanata does not need the contents that are in the box, but rather the contents of the box that's holding those relics themselves, which happens to be a heirloom that was given to her by Chewbacca. From what it looks like, we are not 100% sure. We see a Wookiee hand. I would assume that's the case. And, well, you get Lando that gets paid, you get Hondo that gets paid, but neither of them really care about the money so much because they are starting their new careers. Lando is going to be the Baron Administrator of Bespin. This was his last job. And Hondo Ohnaka is going to be a more respectable businessman, maybe, running things on Batuu there at the Spire there, Black Spire Outposts. And that brings us back to the current story, in which the Resistance spy, his name is Shor Comrin, and his granddaughter is the one we keep seeing these different stories told. He is going to sacrifice himself essentially by getting into a escape pod and jetting himself out, so that way the Crimson Jack maybe doesn't care about the Halcyon as much as him and draws them away from them to go over there. So that is basically the story in a nutshell. Some cool things I want to note about this one is Ronto wraps, or Ronto roasters. I had one myself when I went to Disneyland. We see the general there in that flashback pigging out on them, so it's a pretty cool callback there. We also see a good look at the cabins and about how they have those like little cutout bunk beds in the walls. So it's cool seeing that, of course. This being a promotion really for Galactic Starcruiser to get people to be more inclined to going. Of course, they're going to show stuff like that. But I think this was a solid issue, and it really did kind of go into the events of hey, this is what happens when somebody's inspired to do something and they go out of their way to do it. So I really like the sacrifice of the grandfather at the end there. But we just have one issue left. What did you guys think of this one? Let me know in the comment section down below. I have just put up my review, spoiler free of course, for Adam Christopher's Shadow of the Sith novel. Go check that out. And also go check out my weekly Star Wars podcast called Outer Rim Transmission, where every week we break down the latest in Star Wars news and more. So that's going to do it for me, Star Wars. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at StarRaptor.